Welcome to MMA Daily, your go-to source for daily updates, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from the world of MMA. Stay tuned for the latest on fights, fighters, events, and everything you need to know about the sport that never stops. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all the action. Starting off, Chael Sonnen believes Khamzat Chimaev could serve as backup fighter for UFC 312 main event. Moving on, Leon Edwards labels Belal Muhammad as the worst fighter of all time while calling for rematch. Lastly, Strickland ANNOYED Bryce Mitchell apologized but doesn't agree with pro-Hitler remarks. MMA analyst Chael Sonnen believes Khamzat Chimaev may end up serving as the backup fighter for the UFC 312 main event. As we know, Khamzat Chimaev is a top contender in the middleweight division. While Dricus du Plessis may be defending the belt against Strickland at UFC 312, we all know Khamzat is waiting for the winner. In addition, many believe he'd be the favorite against either of the two potential champions. Chimaev also happens to be one of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts today. That's been the case ever since he burst in the scene, and it seems obvious to suggest that the UFC is ready to push him as much as they possibly can. With UFC 312 coming up this weekend, the aforementioned Chael Sonnen has a theory regarding why he believes Chimaev will be traveling out there. I think Chimaev's the backup fighter. I don't believe that Chimaev is just the number one contender. I don't believe that the proximity of this fight is something that you would not book Chimaev, who allegedly has Western travel issues. I don't think you would do that without bringing him. I'm confident that Chimaev will be there. I'm confident he will be in attendance. So why, if you're flying him out, would you not put him on the scale the day before? I'm asking. I don't know that answer. Nobody really knows how things are going to pan out for Khamzat Chimaev, who has always been known for being a complex character. Still, if the opportunity is available for him to serve as the backup, you'd have to think the UFC will be all over it. Leon Edwards is certain that he is a better fighter than Belal Muhammad. Edwards lost his welterweight title to Muhammad in the main event of UFC 304 in July in England. It was a surprising result as Edwards was a sizable favorite, but Muhammad fought a smart fight to get the win. Despite losing to Belal Muhammad, Leon Edwards called Muhammad the worst fighter of all time while appearing on the Louis Theroux podcast. For me, I would say John Jones. My second best is Anderson Silva. Worst? Belal, I'd love to run it back. Normal time. I'd love to run it back again in 2025. Belal Muhammad is far from the worst fighter of all time, but Leon Edwards is using it to try and get the rematch as the Brit is confident he would defeat Belal in a rematch. Leon Edwards is set to return to the octagon in the main event of UFC London on March 22nd against Jack Della Maddalena. It's Edwards' first fight since he lost his title to Muhammad, and he believes with a win, he should get a title shot. I feel like after beating Jack, definitely I can get a title shot. He's ranked 5th or 4th in the world. And in the welterweight division right now, there are not a lot of people barking for a title shot. I think Belal is fighting Shavkat hopefully April or May. After that, there is no one else for the title apart from me. I go out there March 22nd, put on a great performance. I can't see why not. Edwards also believes he would fare much better in a rematch with Muhammad if the fight is at a normal time and not at 5 in the morning. But before he can get a title shot, Edwards will need to beat Della Maddalena on March 22nd. Leon Edwards is 22-4 and 1 NC as a pro and coming off a decision loss to Belal Muhammad. Before that, he beat Kamaru Usman by decision to defend his belt after he KO'd Usman to become the champ. Strickland has an opinion about the Bryce Mitchell controversy that has dominated recent MMA headlines because, of course he does. Early in his session with reporters during Tuesday's media day for his UFC 312 title rematch with Dricus du Plessis on Saturday at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, Strickland took it upon himself to shift gears into the situation involving UFC featherweight Mitchell. Mitchell sparked outrage this past week when he stated on the inaugural episode of his podcast that he felt Hitler was a good guy and someone he would go fishing with. It was all part of a tangent that prompted UFC CEO Dana White to make a public statement condemning the remarks and labeled Mitchell as one of the dumbest humans. Shortly thereafter, Mitchell issued an apology on social media, but many felt it was insincere, and he's continued to be the target of much negative feedback. Strickland, who has spent time with Mitchell in the past and been the subject of many controversies for his own comments, said he thinks his fellow fighter is not a genuinely bad person. However, Strickland thinks Mitchell has been radicalized by certain world viewpoints after going down a rabbit hole, and it manifested in the highly publicized incident. I don't think Bryce is a Nazi. I think Bryce is a idiot from Arkansas who is not educated. And I think Bryce is just feeding into the propaganda. How many people actually agree with him? I don't. Bryce, you're a idiot. You should not have said that. But he is being radicalized and a lot of people support him, and he's wrong. And we must also look at all the reasons why he said it and how he went down this path. Despite all that, Strickland, who challenges Du Plessis for the middleweight title after losing the belt by split decision in their first meeting at UFC 297 in January 2024, said he thinks Mitchell made a mistake with his apology statement. The thing that annoyed me about Bryce is he apologized. If you're going to be a piece of dude, you've got to just double down and be a piece of Thanks for watching another video on MMA Daily. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest MMA news. Stay tuned for the next one. See you soon. Take care.